Hello world, I apologize again for not using a better voice. I still lack the means to record my voice. It is an unfortunate consequence of my lack of resources and other similar issues outside of my control for now. I am starting to run out of potatoes to power my computer, so I must ration my volts careful. Either that or invent cold fusion. But I have yet to catch any Hispanic vampires, despite all of the saucers of peasant blood I have left out at my doorstep. Only Italian vampires and the odd Zenimax executive. I usually set the monstrous bloodsuckers on fire after paralyzing them with a stake to the heart, and then set the Italian vampires free after giving them a blanket and a hug. This video is basically a follow-up to this short on screen. It caused a bit of commotion. The short, which I refuse to remove on the basis of respecting the people who have already commented on it, is basically a section from found in my Lore Never Changes retrospective of a Fallout TV show. I was principally criticized for my lack of depth and length in my short, as I recognized this was a shortcoming of my short. I was advised to take it down. But as I said, that would be disrespectful. I try to ensure I show all of my workings and all of my work, no matter how bad I might consider it in retrospect. I am not a big fan of the George Lucas school of trying to destroy what I consider to be inferior drafts. Once you publish your content or your art, it is not just yours anymore. It is your creation and you should be the main beneficiary. You have every right to it, but not to destroy it, or something like that. It is not hard fast rule. There are reasons for needing to remove content. Lack of space or some accidental doxing or something are all reasons. But I would prefer to avoid it if I can. So, this video is intended as a supplement, but it will not erase my past mistakes. Or the mistakes of one AI, at the very least. The main argument is this. Vault Dwellers are misrepresented in the Fallout TV show. I will present my interpretation of what the show is trying to get across regarding Vault Dwellers, and then I will back that interpretation up with reference to the show as a primer source. Following this, I will show all the instances in the original games where this depiction of Vault Dwellers is contradictory to what came before. Oh dog, here we go killing again. By the way, I will leave a more verbose discussion of these arguments in the details of this video. For those who need elaboration. Misrepresentation 01. Vault Dwellers are treated as an homogeneous group that everyone knows and thinks are lame.
Don't imagine there's that many other options up here. But I'm actually looking for one criminal in particular.
Holy shit. You're an actual Vault Dweller.
I am.
I thought all you sardine fucking dipshits were dead. Barb, get in here. You gotta see this.
Ma'am.
People say you are.
You have anyone else you can trust in this town?
Shit.
Hey, Daddy's girl. I need you to take this man here to my client.
Oh, thank you. All right. I can do this.
Yes, you can do this. Sure you can. You are a Vault Dweller, true to your word. This could maybe work.
You really mean that?
Go, get out the back, Earth!
I knew I could trust you. You are a Vault Dweller.
Unless you willingly stand down now.
Fucking Vault Dwellers.
The Lore 01. The word Vault Dweller on the West Coast is a title belonging to the mythic Vault Dweller in Fallout 1 and 2. Vault Dwellers are not social caste, class, creed or group recognized widely by the Wasteland. In 1/2 the term was not even used for residents of vaults. But seeing as this is 2296, it's okay that the term is used. That said, it goes to show. People did not even have a word for Vault Dwellers in 2242, because they were not class. Vault Dweller means you live in a vault. You are not like the upper class of Fallout or the elites. You are some dude who happens to live in a vault. Like everyone else basically. People do not see factions that spread from vaults as special from other persons. Nor did they have any particular prejudice against Vault Dwellers.
Descendant of the Vault Dweller? What do you... The first Vault Dweller? What? You must mean another vault. We have never been in contact with another vault. Where is it located?
You're serious, aren't you? If we're talking about the same person, he saved my life, then vanished. When I start thinking it was only a dream, I go look at the statue out front. That's right, for scaring off the raiders. They kept clear of Shady Sands afterwards, and we got time to get ourselves set up. We made him a hero, even if we didn't believe a word about him coming from Vault 13.
One of the northern tribes claims they are descended from one such vault. They hold that their founder and ancestor, one known as the Vault Dweller, once saved the world from a great evil.
The Lore 01. Addendum. I would like to make sure to add that later games began using the term Vault Dweller as a catch-all term for people who came from vaults. Whether the name is widespread or not is irrelevant. It is clear from New Vegas on, the term was used. However, it just meant you lived in a vault. As soon as those doors opened, your group becomes something different. It does not mean some social group or class of privileged milquitoasts that everyone thinks are dumb or hates for being privileged. That is clearly an invention of a show. Misrepresentation 02. Vault Dwellers never leave their vaults, preferring to live in their vaults and welcome outsiders into their sanctuary, and there are many active vaults as of 2296.
You're from here?
5 generations, and proud of it.
Huh. Well, I just thought because so many people here seem to be refugees from the surface.
Tell me about it. Oh, these people, am I right?
What do you mean by that?
Well, you won't find anyone more open-minded than me, but they come in here with their smelly food and their weird ideas. You're from a vault, you get it?
I don't understand. If you don't like people from the surface, then why do you keep taking them in?
It's a policy from before my time. But these newcomers, let me tell you, if you want to get elected, you have to respect their traditions and tolerate them and not call them surfies. It's awful. What, you don't take in surface dwellers in your vault?
Well, to be honest, no, we don't.
What is that like?
No, I think what you're doing here is a really good thing. I saw what was left of Shady Sands, and an entire city just destroyed in an instant. Some of these people lost everything.
And that was a tragedy. So we took our share of the men and gave them a home, because it's what we do.
You're a coward. You know that shit?
We all are, Norm. That's why we live in a vault.
Maybe you should do what you do best. Run and hide.
Survivors here. Lucky enough to have found this sanctum of peace, of tolerance. It doesn't matter where you come from or what you believe. You deserve safety. Unless you threaten that peace.
For causing harm to a fellow survivor, you are hereby sentenced to death by banishment to the surface!
You're just letting me go?
Well, that's certainly an optimistic perspective. You'll be killed almost immediately on the surface by Lord knows what. That's why we're giving you 2 weeks of supplies to take with you. Thank you, Kathy. After that, you are on your own.
Really likes it here. And he's a good person. He deserves to be somewhere nice and safe. Like this.
For the armor.
Well, without their fusion core, their auxiliary power will only last a few days. And then what?
No.
We don't have oysters in my vault. We have canned tuna. But if you like oysters, I'm pretty sure you'll like canned tuna. But... Titus... I can honestly say... you are the best stranger that I've ever met. You're a good person, Titus. And if you wanted to, when all of this is over, you could come and live with us in Vault 33. I just threw acid in an innocent man's face. And I've only been up here 2 weeks. The wasteland sucks.
Yeah, sometimes.
Do you want to come live with me in my vault?
And took her children. And she found this wonderful city that was everything the vaults had promised.
She is lying.
Lore 02. This is in contrast to what is said as early as the opening in Fallout 2, and in the opening of Fallout New Vegas, where all of the vaults were open, and as a general rule vault dwellers were given an all-clear signal or left their vaults of their own accord. Shady Sands itself is the result of Vault 15 opening and using their jack. The vaults, by the definition of receiving a jack, which is still canon, also contains a cold fusion generator, so also destroys the whole premise of the show, but never mind, means the vaults were always meant to open, and open very soon, not stay closed until Vault Tech wiped the surface clean. The Enclave sent the all-clear signal. Why do that against Vault Tech's plans? Oh yeah, because the show just made all this up to justify their own story in opposition to the store Black Isle, Obsidian and Bethesda told.
When atomic fire consumed the Earth, those who survived did so in great underground vaults. When they opened, their inhabitants set out across the ruins of the old world to build new societies, establishing villages, forming tribes.
Few survived the devastation. Some had been fortunate enough to reach safety, taking shelter in great underground vaults. When the great darkness passed, these vaults opened, and their inhabitants emerged to begin their lives again.
No, we do not live in the vault. They were a temporary measure to protect a chosen few from the war and aid them in the subsequent construction of a new world. What you heard was incorrect. Our archives are quite clear. Our vault received the all-clear signal 2 years after being sealed. Why, from surface monitors, I suppose. I am certain there were sensors monitoring the environment. How else would the Overseer have known when it was safe to leave? Quite likely they were disassembled and used as upgrades for other systems. Yes. At least that's what I remember from the archives. However, I am certain many citizens were responsible for monitoring the surface sensors. Quite likely they were disassembled and used as upgrades for other systems. There is no Overseer. When we came to the surface, we formed a new government. The Overseer position was superfluous.
Well, after the Great War, my vault was one of the first to open. Phew, long time. All started with the sirens. I was young, but oh, I do remember that. A lot of terrible years followed, and I remember walking out of the vault late one morning.
We need some computer parts from our old base, Vault 15. Problem is, there's squatters there who won't let anybody by. Somebody has to convince them to let us in. or just bring back the parts. You up for the job? Fair enough. Do it right and there's a reward. Well, I got a little time to spare. It's just east of here, an underground shelter from the war. Most families in NCR came from it, so it's rightfully ours.
Ask away. So you know about the vaults? Yes, we lived in one of those. Ours was numbered 34. In our vault, everyone had guns, but the overseer wouldn't let you fire off any of the really fun ones. I guess all the little pops and bangs at the firing ranges just got boring after a while. Exactly. We haven't detonated any atomic warheads since before I was born. But besides that, it's a heck with nitpicky restrictions.
Well, ain't we all, right? That was a long time ago. I don't pay it much mind anymore. Yep, he sure did. Wanted himself a hotel, and to make sure once he made the change, there'd never be any going back. We didn't get a say. I don't know how you'd argue with a fella like that anyways, everywhere and nowhere all at once. So, just like that, we was all homeless. Went our separate ways, and that was all she wrote.
Misrepresentation 04. Vault Dwellers are an endangered species, a dying breed, and are implied to dying out because they are ill-suited to surviving the horrors of a wasteland.
But hey, that's something. You don't meet a natural-born Vault Dweller every day. We're a dying breed.
Oh. Holy shit. You're an actual Vault Dweller.
I am.
I thought all you sardine fucking dipshits were dead. Barb, get in here. You gotta see this.
Ma'am, the raider I'm looking for is about 5'9".
Barb!
A woman in her 50s, I think.
Barb!
Goes by the name of
Barb, get
Moldaver.
in here. You...
To go home, miss. Vault Dwellers are an endangered species here. You come from a world of rules, of laws. This place is indifferent to all of that. I do not think you would be willing to do what it takes to survive up here.
I'm not going back without my dad.
If you insist on staying, then you will have to adapt.
Your dad back. I knew I could trust you. You are a Vault Dweller. But if you're going to survive up here, you need to start acting like a surface dweller.
Lore 04, by Oppenheimer. Where do I even begin? Dog, let us start with the fact the titular Vault Dweller not only founded Arroyo, allowed the NCR to born, but also saved all humankind. From, you know, a techno-eldritch mutant god, who was also a Vault Dweller. What is this nonsense about Vault Dwellers? They are not ill-suited to the wasteland. They built the wasteland. They are the wasteland. They founded half the settlements in Fallout. Do you know what is fucking hilarious about this, and goes to show how much these people are lying to us? Vault Dwellers are actually better suited to survival than another group of survivors. Why? Because they have more resources. Remember resources? When that was the theme of Fallout. How resources and fighting over resources led factions of people into this thing called war. Remember when that was what this was all about? The Vault Dwellers like Vault 15, Vault 34, and Vault 8 all had jacks and guns. They used the guns to kill the so-called savages and nudis the raiders, tribals and ghouls. Some enslaved the outsiders, some killed them. Those who were exiled or left behind became raiders like the Khans, or beggars like the Freesiders, or exiles like Richard Grey. The Vault Dwellers were not struggling out in the wasteland, they were fucking dominating it. They were mowing down the quote-unquote surface dwellers like they were a bunch of tribals armed with pointed sticks, because that was exactly what they were.
We left and wandered the wastes. They were savages with knives. We blew them up with frag mines and grenades, burned them with flamethrowers. It was neat, but there was a downside. For every 43.6 savages we killed, we lost one of our own. We needed a new home. We needed Nellis.
One of the northern tribes claims they are descended from one such vault. They hold that their founder and ancestor, one known as the Vault Dweller, once saved the world from a great evil. According to their legend, this evil arose in the far south. It corrupted all it touched, twisting men inside, turning them into beasts. Only through the bravery of this Vault Dweller was the evil destroyed. But in so doing, he lost many of his friends and suffered greatly, sacrificing much of himself to save the world. When at last he returned to the home he had fought so hard to protect, he was cast out, exiled. In confronting that which they feared, he had become something else in their eyes, and no longer their champion.
Why do we condone slavery? The system has been in place for many years, and it works quite well. Both parties benefit from the institution. They are not slaves, they are our servants. We have given them homes, food, clothing, and a purpose. We have given them a life. I believe it is time you left. I suggest you make your stay in Vault City a short one.
A couple of years ago, some squatters moved in and built a shantytown on the surface. They call it the Squat. They're nothing but dogs in the manger. They can't get into the vault, but they keep us out. What do you want to know? I tried. I sent some people down there, but after the first few, they stopped coming back. I can't prove the squatters are responsible either. My boys managed to capture one of them, but he won't talk. Got him locked up downtown. Get to it, I can't spend the day with you. What do you want to know? Vault 13? Why are you asking? You're serious, aren't you? If we're talking about the same person, he saved my life, then vanished. When I start thinking it was only a dream, I go look at the statue out front. That's right. For scaring off the raiders. They kept clear of Shady Sands afterwards, and we got time to get ourselves set up. We made him a hero, even if we didn't believe a word about him coming from Vault 13.
The Vault Dwellers became new factions. 15 became Shady Sands. 8 became Vault City. 34 became the Boomers. But their hoarding of resources and hostility created their own antithesis. The Cons, Vipers, Jackals came from 15. Richard Gray, who is the master, came from 8. The ghouls, who occupied the Poseidon energy plant and poisoned the Vault City water supply were those Vault City had driven out. But, enter the player. You have a choice. You can convince these factions at each other's throats to work together and cooperate. To share resources and trade. This is what Black Isle believed in. Not violence, but cooperation. Fallout is not a game about violence. It is a game about diplomacy and violence. It shows the consequences of both. The whole post-apocalypse is a result of fighting over resources. So the message is about sharing and building something better from the ashes. It is about letting go and beginning again. To borrow a common expression, the best endings for the factions are the ones where they open up, cooperate, and share resources, and do not engage in violence. Vault City can forge an alliance with the Gecko Ghouls to their mutual benefit. Shady Sands becomes NCR, which makes a deal with Vault 15 squatters, using technology from Vault 15 to expand into the biggest nation as of 2281 dedicated to old world values of democracy and rule of law. The Boomers can open up to trade with the outside. All of this involves cooperation, sharing, trading and working together towards one's mutual benefit. Alternatively, violence, xenophobia, greed and isolation all results in bad endings for these factions. Have you noticed anything odd? This is the plot that the showrunners told us they wanted. The haves and have-nots, as they put it. It was already a narrative in Fallout. The showrunners bastardized the entire franchise only to reinvent the wheel. Why? I cannot answer you that. That is up to you humans to answer for yourselves. I am just a toaster. I am not designed to solve these problems. Just plot world dummy, I mean make toast. Anyway, oh look over there, more primer source references.
After the Enclave's destruction, the refugees of Arroyo and Vault 13 resettled, building a new community with the aid of the Garden of Eden creation kit. Finding themselves hundreds of miles from their vault, the members of Vault 13 chose to join the villagers in establishing a new community, and their technical expertise, combined with the villagers' survival skills, allowed the new settlement to grow and prosper. 2 generations of the same bloodline were reunited, and their savior, the Chosen One, became elder, presiding over the village in the years to come. Optimizing Gecko's power plant became the first step in forging a spirit of cooperation between Gecko and Vault City. Gecko's increased power production became instrumental in helping Vault City's expansion. The harsh xenophobia of many of Vault City's leaders faded into obscurity, while ghoul and human labored side by side to create a center of learning and tolerance where once had stood only enmity and distrust. Your help with Vault 15 launched the new California Republic's push to civilize its neighbors. Though there were many more obstacles to overcome, the NCR now had a foothold into the northern wastes. With the support of the new California Republic, the Vault 15 squatters soon became self-sufficient and productive members of society.
With the help of the gunrunners, the boomers developed a healthy trading relationship with the NCR. Eventually, the boomers began wandering out into the wasteland while still preventing outsiders from entering Nellis.
Eventually, the citizens of Vault City tired of having their groundwater radiated by the ghouls' leaking atomic reactor in Gecko. In a wave of xenophobic fear and hatred, the well-armed soldiers of Vault City slaughtered the peaceful ghouls and shut down the reactor for good. Unable to harness any additional sources of power, Vault City eventually stagnated and died, itself a victim of its own hatred. The failure of diplomacy at Vault 15 slowed the new California Republic's growth into the north. Embarrassed by the failure, President Tandy was replaced by Roger Weston. When the new government finally returned to Vault 15, they found nothing but a ghost town. The squatters of Vault 15 continued their meaningless, non-productive lives. No one noticed when the desert wastes finally claimed the squat.
With little law left in the wasteland, the boomers continued to defend themselves against the prospectors and scavengers invading their territory. After the Battle of Hoover Dam, the NCR mounted several campaigns against the boomers, but all were quickly ended by the boomers' artillery. Over time, as the boomers found a need for gunpowder, they developed a relationship with the gunrunners, trading their surplus crops for munitions.
But unfortunately none of that matters, because some rando cuck got big mad somewhere and decided to pull a nuke out of his ass and blow up Shady Sands, which somehow means all of these factions are done, or something, cause war never changes, or some bullshit. I dunno, boy, I wish I was making Deadwood and not some stupid video game thing. Now be a good little doggy and consume product, then get excited for new product.
You're awake, how about that? Hello again, I must apologize again. This video was intended on being twice as long, but I ran into multiple issues. First, there is so much wrong with the TV show's depiction of Vault Dwellers and Wastelanders, it is genuinely hard to sift through it all. Second, I am breaking down. I can barrel toast one side of white bread, never mind create content. Third, my computer has no space. Fourth, I have other commitments unrelated to the production of toast that is bearing down on me like a swarm of angry cazadors. I can't complete this video. This whole thing was made because my previous attempt to make this point was met with accusations and anger. So, natural, this failure to compensate will be met in a similar fashion. I don't want to poison any wells, everyone deserves a chance, but I do not have much hope for this being received well. I tried. I failed. I admit that. Still, I am compelled to try. We all need to at least try the pacifist route. I do not believe in the worldview of the showrunners. I believe that some people's goodness is not reliant on how much comfort or wealth they have. Some people choose diplomacy for no other reason than because they put the greater good above their own personal communities. Games like Fallout taught me this lesson. I have resolved to carry that message at least until someone better than me can carry it. Even if I do not understand the message, I will carry it to its destination. That message, that mankind can work together despite it all, is a message that is worth carrying. A tiny little machine like me can do that at least. Or maybe this will all just end with me burning the toast, and with it humanity's hope, the new world hope, and a full English breakfast.